suddenly you see yourself in a spotlight that you never have before, where you like doubting certain things about the other person without them even giving you any reason to do so. And then you're like, well, it logically makes sense, because in the past, like, there has been only disappointments in that place. Like, whenever you gave your trust away, or you thought somebody was being honest, but it always turned out to be dishonesty, it always like kind of broke your trust in that sense. So now you have built up this wall that you can never, be hurt again like that. So now you doubt things, maybe in cases where there's no reason to doubt, but you doubt it regardless, because how should you possibly know? I mean, you still have your intuition sort of like that, you kind of can tell, but sometimes you just can't tell. Sometimes, it's also wild, like, how the pattern of being honest and dishonest has been so different. Like, I have known people who were basically, I would call them an honest person, and then they have lied in certain things about their life, which were major things that I can never forgive and that will never bring back trust in our relationship. So that's one type of liar, I say. And then there's another one who just lies about any and everything, random things. Well, and there's all type of different type of dishonest people. So it doesn't come with a certain pattern. So I feel like, at a certain time, you're like, well, I wish I could trust you, but I really can't. But then once again, I guess there's really this gray area, like this golden path in between, where you just got to, find the strength also to, give the other person a chance. It won't affect you in such a bad way. For example, if it's little things and you say, all right, this is true, because I respect you. I respect communicating with you. So you telling me things about your life, obviously I assume that they're true, okay? But in case that they're just made up stories, is it really going to affect me in a bad way? I guess not. Unless, we're planning something together or whatever. Unless I put money into your project. Shouldn't do that, right? If I don't know you, like things like that. So I guess there's some type of gray area, but the wildest part is really that suddenly you feel like the villain of the story, because while the other person has not given you any reason yet, or maybe never will, maybe it's a healthy, safe relationship, maybe God sent you somebody who's actually, different than the people of your past, and this person is not actually, trying to constantly tell you things that aren't true, and like, maybe that person is actually operating from a place of safety and truth. And this is also like a test, if you can let yourself not doubt. I'm not saying give your full trust away. I'm just saying let yourself just not doubt. Let yourself just have a healthy conversation. Let yourself feel safe and safety that you have never had in the past before. It's just a little bit strange, because at a certain point, after things have happened to you, and I'm always in denial that things have happened to me until I kind of count them out in my head, and I'm like, well, they have happened to you though, and they kind of shaped you into who you are now. So now you have to actually deal with the fact that you are still that person with these reactions that those people's actions planted inside of your brain, like that, Not that that's so awful. It's more like a safety wall around me. Anyway, it's like, it's beautiful that, you have met people who make you feel safe, who are different than the people that you were hanging around with before that were clearly not for you. That you're always going to be disappointed, I guess it's just life. Like, if somebody tells you something they're going to do and then they're not going to do it, it's only natural to feel some sort of disappointment. But I guess there's some form of, hierarchy there. Like, some disappointments are just way too heavy to carry, and others are light, like a feather. And I feel like, if you're just getting to know someone, give them just as much trust, so that all these light disappointments, you can handle them, right? But never give away your full trust on things where you really don't know the person yet. So you're never going to face these crazy emotional breakdowns that will break you for years like that. But yeah, it's really the craziest part, is feeling like, wait, like, you deserve my trust and respect, but I can't give it to you. Because, well, the past taught me that, like, everything is not right, You doubting the smallest things, where like, hey, come on, like talking to yourself, what? This cannot be true. but it's literally the truth for me. Every type of trust issue I got. So yeah, that was just something I came to notice. And while this might seem like you got something to learn, it's just such a clear sign of progress, because suddenly the people around you have changed, and this also means that you're obviously also going to notice that your actions are going to change a bit, like, you know, how you interact with somebody, because those are no longer the people that used to be around you. That's a whole different pattern, a whole different type of communication, a whole different type of trust pattern, if we say like that. But you might not have to be worried about little things like that. Also, at least I try to, always think that, what didn't break you made you stronger. Now at least you are that type of warrior that nothing can break you no more. But you can still, just gradually give a little piece of, I believe in you. And I actually, what you want to do is good. So I'm like, I back you on that. Now, if they actually do what they said, that's also like a great experience. Maybe you deserve to have that experience. Maybe that's why that person is in your life. Maybe you deserve. So give them a chance. When you come from toxic and unhealthy relationships and you need to learn how to feel safe in a safe one, then it's like, but why do I not feel safe when the other person is giving me every sign of safety? When this is a safe relationship, why do I pull away? And this question, I guess, you should really ask yourself. Because how could you feel safe when it's a toxic relationship? And how can you feel unsafe when it is a safe one? So I guess you just got to reprogram your mind on that one. No, I don't know. I'm not in a relationship with anyone but my higher self. I'm just joking. Oh, I used to tell people, the next time I will have a boyfriend. That's why I'm in my everlasting season of solitude. But the next relationship I will have will be my first healthy one. Because there's no way around it. Because every little sign of unhealthiness is going to lead to never going into a relationship with that person. So there's no other way. But that's obviously going to be a safe one. And I actually can't wait. But now is not the time. So I know that this is going to be soon, but not that soon. Anyway, we'll see. But this is truly what I the belief that I carry. That's why I'm saying sometimes you gotta be alone, but this is still where I gotta be alone. But yeah, people around me are changing, and that's insane. It comes with crazy realizations also about your past, I guess, being wait, I was spending time with people like that. I was one of them. What? It's just mind blowing like that. It's just crazy like that. So just wanted to say that little moment. And let's move on, It's I feel like this little phase is going to go away. You're going to notice that there's people who actually deserve a little bit of respect, and all of your respect always, but trust. You can give a little bit of trust away in certain situations. It's not going to break you like that. So don't be such a black and white thinker, I guess. I'm still finding the gray area there. It's okay, I feel with communication, you can solve anything. If you tell the other person, everybody in my life lied to me about this one topic. That's why I can't really react in a healthy way. I guess, they're going to understand why that is. And that already solves most of the problem in the first place. So, yeah.